From the Fox Studios in downtown Panama City, it's News View with Lee Sullivan.
Let's talk about your endangered freedoms. News and views with an attitude.
Can a man feel pretty?
Yeah, of course he can if he's in touch with his phenomenon inside. Good evening, it's News View. I'm Lee Sullivan, visiting with Ron Hart, syndicated columnist, author, and Fox News View contributor. And we have a lot to talk about. Things that, Sarah Palin, they got the bumper stickers going on. You got you got all the appearances. You got all that stuff going on. Now she's on Fox, the big Fox.
Right.
So what's your take on that?
It's an interesting blurring between being a politician, being a celebrity, being a journalist. It's a holding room, a green room, I guess, for Republican candidates right now. The Fox staff, because you got Huckabee there as well. So, with her case, it probably could help her because she wasn't real good on issues, and to be on the news, as you know, you have to be up on the issues. And she may have to actually read a newspaper. It might be tough for her.
Right.
But she has a lot of charisma, and as I say in my column this past Sunday in the News Herald, not my cup of tea as a candidate. I think she's been good for the party. She energizes people's base. I know she energized my base when I first saw her. She's very compelling, but former Miss Alaska. But I think on issues we differ on very important issues. I think she's a little. She will be revealed over time if she's allowed to ad-lib for what she is. I think it'll be a detriment to her career. I don't think, the more you know, the less you like, I think, with Sarah Palin.
Okay. What about Huckleberry?
Seems like a likable guy. I mean, he needs to lose some weight, and the guy's getting huge. But
he's a preacher. He's a piccolo player.
Yeah,
he's
plays the bass he's a likable guy. We're probably together on 9% of the issues. He's probably a little bit further religious right than I'd like to see in a politician, but he seems to have tempered that in a palatable way. He, have a trouble. He and Sarah Palin are the same way. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, but I'm not a believer in the literal interpretation of the Bible, and they are. They believe Jonah lived 3 days in the belly of the whale, came out and spoke about it. Not sure I want that person with a hand on the nuclear bomb. That troubles me a little bit. There's a little disconnect in my way of thinking. Now, other people have a little interpretation of the Bible. God bless you. That's what you believe in. But as an elected leader who has to kind of ferret through very important details, and I would argue that we're in this war in Iraq. It's a religious war. It's our religion against their religion. The Muslims believe Allah is going to give them 72 virgins. Our fellows believe and that they're going to go to heaven. We're fighting what is, in my mind, I've said it to the consternation and anger of some of my readers, that this is a religious war. You look back in history, they did not end well. So that troubles me. I think we need to go away from that. I'm looking for more of a capable administrator.
What about Afghanistan?
I still think that it's a mistake. I mean, it's the graveyard of empires. They sent the British away. They sent the Russians away. If this country goes under, it's not because a conquering military is going to take us over. It's because we're going to spend too much money. We're going to put our nose places we shouldn't be. You see these films, Frontline or whatever, are these 21-year-old heroic guys walking mud hut to mud hut in villages getting their legs blown off. To what end? These Muslim kids are just as scared as they are in their village, and their religious elders are telling them to blow up the infidels. Our guys are in there. Why are we walking on the ground? Well, why don't we wait till they pull up, fly over with an F-16, F-14 jet, and blow them up? They've never amassed an army in the history of mankind.
Because we are replicating the Vietnam War.
True.
It is the mindset. It is not. It is a war of politics. It is simply that there is no effort and conscientious effort to attain a goal and to withdraw. It is the continuum of the fighting.
Right. There's no exit strategy. In Iraq, look, I'm still waiting for a thank you note from Iraq.
Right.
We were not greeted as liberators.
No.
These are I got nephews and cousins and fly helicopters in these wars, and they say it's like walking through the Old Testament. You spend $1 million missile to blow up a $10,000, $10 hut,
right.
and we create more enemies, I think, than we get our side, because you're going to make mistakes in war.
Well,
there's going to be collateral damage.
Everybody wants America to do one thing or another, but nobody wants to like America.
True.
Whether it's economics or use of force or, I mean, disaster aid. You know, we're expected to provide, and we are, and we're just despicable to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think we need to declare victory in both wars and come home. And then, you know, Obama is a disappointment. That's the one thing I think America wanted him to do, and he didn't do that.
Right.
It's amazing. He's been a disaster.
Do you think people like Sarah Palin and Huckabee, I mean, do you think they advance their cause being on Fox? I mean, Glenn Beck's Glenn Beck, O'Reilly's O'Reilly.
Yeah.
That's a pretty straightforward deal. But those two people, they're, I mean, I know, I mean, everybody would want to think, would be surprised if somebody said they didn't have political aspirations.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's a holding room. And the problem you get, and I said it in the column, is every time Obama's numbers go down, Hillary Clinton has a coffee in Iowa. She's ready to run. What does she have? She has 3 years worth of gaffes, potentially, of Sarah Palin on Fox. She has position issues where they come out here. Who knows 3 years from now what the position is? I mean, Hillary Clinton voted for the Iraq War.
Right.
You know, now she's, you know, so you're staking out markers on your position. So you get these opposition research companies that take every film clip, every gaffe against Sarah Palin, and they'll get her with it down the road. As I said in the column, you know, it makes two Clintons trying to nail Sarah Palin in the next 3 years.
Yeah. You know, let me speak with you a little bit about Limbaugh. Rush, the question is, did he say that he would leave America if they passed health care, or did he say he would go to Costa Rica to get his treatment there?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, who knows? The stars say that all the time. You know, Rush.
Really? I'm still waiting for one of them to
Alec
go.
Baldwin, I wish they
Really?
would leave. I'll provide jet fare.
Really?
I'll get him out of here. Now, you know, I don't know if he's being dramatic. He blurs the line too, as a political pundit, an entertainer, a satire person. And I write satire. And I got to tell you, Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert and Letterman, who's very leftist, satire is a great place in which to make your points because you don't have to be completely precise with your situations. And Rush kind of leans on that crutch when he needs to. That it was just bravado, it was crescendo, it was just a statement. But he won't leave this country. He likes food and golf too much. He's not leaving this country.
So is he the voice of the Republican Party, or is he the voice of conservatives?
I think he's the voice of Rush Limbaugh, and I think he certainly leans on the conservative side of things. But as a family values guy, I'm not exactly sure that he's at the core of the Conservative Party. He's more of a Federalist Papers, minimal government, minimal intrusion, libertarian probably. He's had difficulty with marriage. He's had difficulty with drugs. He has a personal life that he probably is not completely proud of. The left has taken advantage of that by making fun of him, in that regard. So he doesn't embody the family values part of the GOP. Sarah Palin does, obviously, but he doesn't. So I don't know what he is. I mean, he's an entertainer first. And look, he makes $20 million, $30 million bucks a year. This is a big business.
Right.
But he was the first to hit on a nerve. And the nerve is this country is a center-right country, and there are certain tenets and articles of faith among Americans that he has really tapped into in a big way. And I like to listen to Rush. I think he's good.
Right, right. Ron Hart, we'll be right back.